Nicky got me rolling, got me shaking, got me aching, got me twitching, got me snitching, got me making a fuss. Nicky got me bowled over, got me over his shoulder, got me slapping, got me whacking, got me smacking my lips. Oh, Nicolas Cage, oh, Nicolas Cage, he's an international treasure of ours, yeah.
Hello and welcome to this week.
Start again.
What?
Yeah, I have to start again. You started before it started recording.
You started way too fucking early.
Ding ding ding. It's kind of half a bit and mostly just annoyance.
Go on.
Right. Hello and welcome to this week's episode.
Hang on, wait. No, something went wrong. We're going to have to start again.
Fuck's sake, John.
Right, you can go.
Go.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of an at least 4 Prats production of Nicolas Cage, International Treasure.
The podcast where we watch every single one of Nicolas Cage's 140-something, 50-something films. No, it's 125.
Yeah, it's a number.
Films, yeah.
And today we're going to be talking about The Frozen Ground.
Might be 114. We are The Frozen Ground 2013.
Based on a true story about a serial killer.
That's John. I'm Nathan. Also here is Kieran.
Hello.
And the ghost of Daniel floats nearby.
You think we get better at these introductions?
It's part of the charm. Our 3 listeners like it.
Oh, and then we'll keep it up. We'll get worse at it.
The Frozen Ground 2013, directed by Scott Walker, written by Scott Walker, starring
Scott Walker,
Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, Vanessa Hudgens, Dean Norris, and 50 Cent. Synopsis is...
Wait, that was 50 Cent?
Yeah, the pimp.
I was already thinking that there's some racism happening here.
Quite possibly. Synopsis is: Vanessa run, cause problem, Nicky find, solve problem. Vanessa run again, cause another problem, Nicky find again, solve another problem. Repeat until man from High Fidelity gets caught for being a bit naughty.
A bit?
Yeah.
Just a bit.
Just a tad.
He's just a bit naughty. He's a baker at heart. He didn't mean to rape
Actually, what does he even do for money?
But he's a baker.
He's a baker.
But he's not really a baker.
Well, he
No,
owns
he's
the
a
baker.
serial killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a baker.
Okay, he bakes. Sure.
How did we find this film?
This was like a fucking Oscar-winning movie compared to the last 3 we've watched.
Yeah, it's hard to really rate it in any way because our reference is completely broken.
Our expectations have been significantly lowered by the past 3 to 4 films.
So when we see something with an actual okay plot line, and it's like, oh, this is fun. This is great. I was intrigued the whole way through.
The cast isn't even that different because Southern Fury, aka Arsenal, also had Nick Cage and John Cusack in it.
Yeah.
It's the second film we've seen with those two. Not even acting opposite each other. I don't think they were in the same scene in Arsenal, aka Southern Fury.
Yeah.
But it's the same cast. It's nice cinematography. It's nice, they've done good color balance in the shots. There's a decent script. I don't think it's an amazing film, but it's definitely a film.
Yeah.
It's not just like a cash grab.
All films are cash grabs / money laundering opportunities. But
Yeah.
It's a nice true story film, and I do love a good wee true story.
You like your true crime.
I do like my true crime.
I do not.
No, not really.
No?
I think it's perverse.
I know. At the very end of the film, when it was said this film is dedicated to all of the victims found and unfound, it
they
made me
showed
mad.
the photos where are they now? In the ground somewhere?
Yeah, that was quite sad, but it's like
It
someone's
wasn't
took.
sad,
Where is
though.
she?
It was just-
Early 2010s indie rock playing over it.
It's such a difficult thing though because it's absolutely made for profit, right?
Well, it was a big thing with the Jeffrey Dahmer TV series recently.
Whether it's
It's
art
ethical.
or if it's just there for...
Yeah, because people love the true crime stuff, but there's like the victims of the Dahmer, like the families of the victims of
having to
Jeffrey
relive
Dahmer.
through it all over again.
They're reliving it, and they're also like they're just up in arms about it. Like, why are you making this? Why are you giving light to this guy and like putting him up as some sort of icon or celebrity, like a serial killing celebrity?
I do like what they did with the... What is the serial killer? I can't remember the boy's name. The serial killer John Cusack plays.
Oh,
they all look. They both look.
Bobby Hansen.
Yeah, Robert Hansen.
Yeah.
They both they cast him very well. They kind of look similar.
John Cusack acted well in it.
Yeah, but I like they didn't romanticize him in a way. They actually made him out to be...
They didn't give him much of a character. Like, he was kind of just like... He was like an everyman, which I guess was his character, but he had this dark secret. But there wasn't much to him. They didn't go into, like, you know, reasons why he killed. Or
well, I mean, there isn't good reasons out there.
He's kind of like mega incel, hates women. And
Is that why? Yes, he does have funny ideas about women, of course.
Yeah.
And I think it is implied, at least his wife is very religious, and he fits into that role.
Yeah.
And there's things he likes that he doesn't want his wife to do on him, but he has the urges to do, so he has to make other people who
oral sex, prostitute. He gets prostitutes to perform oral sex, but then he sexually assaults them and kills them. It's not fun stuff.
It is, all that stuff is said during a scene where he is kind of flying for his teeth. Yeah. So it's kind of...
Yeah, it can't be believed.
Yeah, and also it's a film, so who knows...
What the actual things?
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to have this discussion about true crime, or I would have done more research into the source material to see how much is dramatized.
So Robert Hansen is now dead. He died in prison of natural causes a couple of years ago.
Okay. How old? Well, this was set in the 80s.
Yeah, he was
late 80s.
Mid to late 80s. Robert Hansen was like in his 70s or 80s. He died of natural causes, just like of old age, basically. Yeah. He did kill way more than what they found, as they did show in the end of the film. And he did help show them some locations of where his bodies were, but didn't show them where all of them were. I don't know if that... They didn't say why.
It's weird. Like, he's already in prison for his entire natural lifespan.
Yeah, he got like 700...
So why show some... Why give up some but not others?
I was thinking about that as well, because it gives you that shot of them in the helicopter, and he's like smiling. So I don't know if there's like a glee, like they're trying to convey glee, like the film is, or it's just like, I'm going to be locked away for the rest of my life. Let me fly through the skies.
There's a lot of like dramas and also just crime psychologists, pseudo-crime psychologists.
My degree can come in handy.
Alright, well I'll talk over you first.
Psychology.
But
let John explain it to you.
But like, it's always the trope that the serial killer wants to be caught. They want to show off their trophies, the things they have done. Yeah.
I was actually about to say that. Like,
I'm not sure how real it is.
It's probably just they've been caught, so they're like, oh fuck, and they don't want to be this like hiding away. They want to show what they've done, and it's kind of them being like, yes, I'm as big as what you may expect.
Yeah, I mean,
and it also leaves. Sorry, if he goes to prison, it shows them some of them, but they know there's more, and then when they go, well, he shows more, and he goes, no. It's him holding power over... he can't hold power over women anymore, but he can hold power over
the police,
like, the police and
the FBI.
The people who are like... The character that Nicolas Cage plays, like him like wanting to find everyone, but him being told basically no.
It does remind me of... As much as I complain about true crime, I did really enjoy Mindhunter, the TV series on Netflix, which we've talked about a few times here. But it's... There's all those scenes, they go into like the psychology of serial killers and stuff, and like that power dynamic and all
nature
that.
Versus nurture, whether it's they have been nurtured into or it's their biological genes that have caused them to be the way they are.
But that's set in the early 80s, I think, Mindhunter.
Yeah, so it's when the FBI first introduces psychology and fuck, there's a word. The word is you make profiles of people.
Yeah.
When you're trying to hunt someone down and say why you would think they would do this.
Because Nick Cage receives a profile from the FBI during this thing. And Nick Cage plays police officer something. State trooper.
I thought he was pretty good in
What's
this,
the
though.
difference?
I think state trooper is you cover the whole state, whereas police officer would just cover.
Well, no, there's so many different types of police in America. You get the sheriff department,
Right.
which is like county, local. You get metropolitan police,
Right.
which are like city police departments, and then you get state troopers that are like state police, right? And then you get then you go to the federal level.
Nick Cage plays, I can't remember his name.
Halpin.
Halp something. Richard Rob. It's not Robert.
I can't remember. I only need a
Kyle
second name because
something.
it was like sergeant or whatever.
But he plays state trooper in the homicide department of Alaska.
Yeah, Anchorage, Alaska.
Anchorage, Alaska, and he's coming up to the end of his term. He's leaving and he's moving to like Iowa or something, like Midwest America, away from it all, because his family they're taking the toll of the job, and he's got 2 weeks left.
Also, fuck living in Alaska.
It's a thing, isn't it? Like with these with crime, like serial killer films, Alaska is like almost a trope now for like setting these
I guess because it's
films.
so open and it's like it'd be pretty easy to hide a body.
It's beautiful, like
Shots are nice.
Yeah, you get beautiful shots. It's like that sublime shit with like the landscape and all that, and it's like completely isolated. It's like isolated from America as well. It's like Hawaii and Alaska are like isolated states from America.
But there's corridors.
Yeah.
The treaties have established corridors through Canada between America and Alaska.
Cool. I didn't know that. So like trucks and supplies and stuff.
Yeah, it's not really. I mean, also America and Canada are on good enough terms that there isn't much of
but
an issue with that kind of thing.
There's this film, and there was a film by Christopher Nolan called Insomnia with what's
Rings
Al
a bell.
Pacino and Robin Williams.
Yes.
And Robin Williams plays a sort of pedo serial killer type character, which was like a big change for him. But what that was in Alaska as well, and what was interesting about that film is like it was during that time of year in Alaska, in that part of Alaska where the sun never sets, and it's like it's just complete daylight at all times.
Yeah, that can make you crazy.
Well, it does say that the film was only shot within the whole film was shot within 26 days ish, and they had to delay shooting for like a couple of months because they wanted to shoot when like the snow was at its thickest, when it was all like proper heavy snow, because they wanted that kind of aesthetic of just being like
the frozen ground.
Yes, actually, yeah.
Which comes into play where they can't access the bodies until summer because the ground is frozen. But yeah, Nick Cage plays a state trooper in Anchorage. He's leaving, but he gets pulled into this one last case. It gets thrown at him.
Yes.
When I can't remember how it is exactly he gets pulled in. Is it some girl goes missing?
They find a body that a bear's eaten.
Yeah.
And
bears dug up a body.
Yeah, so he gets called out to go check on it. And then they start tying that body to other bodies. And they're like, well, these all have similar deaths because of the gun bullet she had on her head. And then that's when they start to uncover, oh wait, there's actually Nicolas Cage and the boy from Breaking Bad.
Dean Norris.
Yes.
Hank. He plays Hank again.
But yeah.
Basically.
He reprises his role.
He is police officer.
He moves to the DEA after this. And goes down to fucking New Mexico.
So they realise that there's connections between bodies. And the way because they originally don't suspect John, well, they originally don't think it's
John Cusack is an upstanding member of the community.
Even though he's been charged with like
sexual assault before. Well, he was almost charged. He was charged with theft, and then he got.
Yeah, he has like a long list of crimes.
Yeah,
but
of him
because he owns a bakery,
not very nice things to women.
Because he owns a bakery that police officers go to. They don't give a shit, so they're like,
They're like, oh, that's just Bobby. He's a nice guy. He wouldn't rape anyone.
But there's one police officer that meets Vanessa who helps Vanessa Hudson when she escapes from John Cusack.
I don't think she is escaping from John Cusack there. I think she's just in a bad situation in another thing
But she had
because
handcuffs
the
on.
stories don't link up, and maybe that's deliberate that the stories don't link up. It's like trauma and how memory is affected by trauma. Maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of the whole geography of it is a little complicated as well.
Because she's found in a flat, and she says later that she escaped in the car when when John Cusack was putting Vanessa Hudgens in a plane.
Yeah.
But she's found in a flat, handcuffed by the police officer.
Did she escape in the car or from the car?
That's what she said something about him getting into the plane, and she took the car from there. I think she says that at some point, but I think the waters are muddied, and I think that might be deliberate in the major traumatic events.
The story isn't
effect
clear,
on memory and stuff, and what you remember of it. But I'm not sure how that links up. I don't know if it's.
She played very well in this character, Vanessa Hudgens.
She was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's weird seeing like Disney Plus actors
Yeah.
like growing up and playing these types of characters and stuff. It's just strange. Who else did that? Like, didn't Jake from Drake and Josh play someone in a crime show recently?
Possibly. There's quite a lot of Disney actresses and actors, and then because you have like Zendaya now. Who,
She
was Zendaya Disney?
yeah, or Nickelodeon or whatever she was, but she was in that Euphoria, which is a pretty like.
She's in the OA as well.
Yeah.
The whole industry is really fucking weird.
Yeah.
And also, it's typecasting, isn't it?
That's almost the opposite. Isn't it?
Actors and actresses get, if they've spent any time in Disney, they're forever a Disney actor or actress, and it can make it very difficult for them to break out of that.
True.
Type.
So you take what you can get to try and change your career. But she does not a bad job. I think sometimes I don't quite believe her delivery in a lot of it, but I think she's generally pretty
Also,
good.
working for Disney fucks up a lot of actors and actresses, especially young ones.
Yeah.
There was an actress in this that I was actually quite happy to see. I quite like her as an actress. The girl who played Debbie. Debbie is the one who's in the midst of being kidnapped by.
She goes for the photo shoot.
With the dog.
Who you don't know, but is John.
Oh, they never say what happened to the dog, but the dog's definitely dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She is.
Interesting skip there.
Gia Mantegna. Mm-hmm. Her dad is a very famous actor. He was in The Godfather 3, and it's just. Her dad is Joe Mantegna. That guy.
I don't think you pronounced the G there, but I don't know how you.
I don't know how you pronounce it, but he played Joey Zaza in The Godfather.
Oh, right.
And he was in a bunch of stuff. He was also in Criminal Minds, hence why I fucking love him.
It's the nepotistic
yes
nature of Hollywood.
Yeah, but like so much is like.
I mean, yet Nicolas Cage,
Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who Nicolas Cage's cousin is? Found this out recently. Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah?
Really?
Yeah, the guy from Darjeeling Limited and a bunch of the Wes Anderson films and like...
that family's way too
big. The
big.
nepotistic nature of Hollywood.
True, but also how much is like talent is like genetic and how much is learned from just being in an artistic environment and having good actors as parents and like role models and stuff. How much is learned. There is definitely a huge amount of nepotism there of being in the industry.
Yeah, you have to temper that for sure.
Also, how much is just talent and having acting skills?
I mean, I don't personally believe in the genetic nature of talent.
No,
it's almost eugenic in that sense. Anyway, don't matter.
The Gia woman, she had a couple of roles before her role in Criminal Minds, which her dad was the main star in. But in Criminal Minds, she played, because Criminal Minds plays the original. Early Criminal Minds, the first kind of 10 seasons, it was like each episode was a different crime, different serial killer, and then there'd be a victim, a serial killer, and then they would figure out who it is at the end. It was pretty good. She played a girl who's kidnapped, and her dad was actually an ex-hitman, and then her dad fucking shotguns the man who kidnapped her in the face, and then they go off into witness protection, and that was I think her first major role. She was very good in it because she comes back later, 10 seasons later, and plays a hit woman herself, and they have to go track her down, etc. And she has a major role in the series. But she was really good in that. She kind of reminded me of her in this movie compared to Criminal Minds, because she kind of plays similar roles. But the more in this, she was more very scared and like didn't want to be there, wasn't coming when she had the kind of bit in her where she was like playing with the guy.
Well, okay, because in this film she's trying to like find an opportunity just in the middle of buttfuck nowhere Anchorage, Alaska. She's like, someone is offering me money to do a photo shoot. This could be my way out of Anchorage. I got that vibe from her character. John disagrees.
No, I didn't pick up the so much leaving Alaska, leaving Anchorage thing.
But wouldn't you want to?
Yeah.
Is that just another trope though?
Maybe.
It's pretty common for like people that are desperate, and it's always they hate the city, they hate the place, and they want to leave. I mean, sure, that's what makes good content as well, and it might even be true in this case. But
it's true in a lot of cases. Suburban life.
Yeah. Anyway, back on I think, the talent thing.
Right.
Yeah. I think that what you said about them being exposed to the industry from an early age is probably much closer to the truth. And also the nepotistic nature of Hollywood and the industry.
Also having a lot of money.
Yeah, the money mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry. It was just a thread I wanted to tie up. But yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible. Anchorage isn't great. It's like it's an oil town.
It has a very sleazy nightlife.
Well, at least in the film. I don't know if in reality.
Prostitute row.
Yeah,
that's pretty nice.
There's just a street full of prostitutes. Like every second human being is a prostitute. But if you go in through any door, it's just...
I mean, apparently there's streets like that in Dundee. Like, there's just prostitutes.
I've never seen these.
But not quite to the extent of the film version, yeah.
Like you bump into every woman you bump into on this like patch of street that they keep going up and down on. It's just like, hey honey, how you doing? And then it kind of moves on to you go into any door.
Be back in a second.
You go through any fucking door and you walk down 2 flights of stairs and there's just a massive strip club full of stuff like.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
And there's like
how
a pimp,
large.
There's like a pimp hotel which is run by 50 Cent.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
I don't understand. I think it was a hotel. By the looks of it was a hotel because there was like corridors and just random doors you go into. Because that's where Vanessa Hudgens hides at one point, or she runs back there.
I think that's where she started out, basically.
Yeah, I quite liked 50 Cent in this film.
I don't think he had a lot of
I think he done well
acting
for being 50 Cent though.
Yeah,
you gotta give it to him. His makeup was nice. His costume design was pretty cool. Like I guess he was a pimp, and like. For being a pimp, there was a part of him in there that was not essentially a bad guy, because at one point,
a lot of pimping is done for emotional manipulation.
Yeah.
So there is this kind of pseudo bond that is formed with the.
Because I was going to say that once there's the point where John Cusack pays this. I'm assuming like he's a bouncer.
Yeah, who the hell is that guy?
He's just a bouncer. John Cusack is
clearly... Yeah, but he's a really nasty guy.
Yeah, John Cusack has clearly been to these strip clubs for like years and has made a friendship with this really like dodgy bouncer, and he pays him like, he says 10, I'm assuming it's 10 grand.
It has to be 10 grand.
Yeah, to go find Vanessa Hudgens. So this random bouncer tracks Vanessa Hudgens down through 50 Cent.
He doesn't do that good of a job.
No, he just goes to 50 Cent, beats the shit out of him, and is like, you have 2 days to bring me her. And he's like, okay, don't kill me. And then it gets to the point where they're doing the drop off of Vanessa, and 50 Cent does turn around after, because he like makes her get out of the car. He like drags her out of the car, and he turns after he pulls a gun out on this bodyguard and tells Vanessa Hudgens to get in the car and get the money. So clearly he was going to leave with Vanessa Hudgens. He wasn't going to give her over.
My interpretation of that is that he just wanted to rob the guy. But yeah, I know. I
feel like you could have still robbed them and still given them to Vanessa. I think Vanessa Hudgens. I feel like him also trying to get Vanessa to come back with them. I understand that's him losing another one of his prostitutes.
Well, no, because actually the best thing about it was when she went to that strip club, right? The 50 Cent was like, feel free, go ahead, kind of thing.
Yeah, he didn't force her to stay.
Yeah, she wasn't trapped by him, at least in that one case, and I thought that was interesting.
No, yeah, but the entrapment is implied.
I know.
Like, it wouldn't have been overt because like she.
I already said it's like most of it's through emotional manipulation and
Yeah.
a kind of dependency. That
He
is
doesn't like hit her or anything
Yeah.
in that scene, which would stereotypically be the scene of like the pimp slap and all that.
But- No, I just.
Like I'm saying, it's a bit weird. When
It's kind of a mix between Vanessa Hudgens' character being trapped in her own situation,
Yeah.
and it can be hard to leave that on your own. And
She
also,
starts doing meth and like
yeah,
gets into
cocaine, I think.
No.
Like, I don't know, she did a lot of drugs pretty quick.
But I was saying there's that bit in the kind of you could call it the hostage situation where 50 Cent does try and rob this bouncer of the money, but
Yeah, it seemed more like a change of conscience. At the
yeah,
end,
and
didn't
Well, that's what Kieran was
he
saying. I thought
tells
it
he
was
tells
more
Vanessa Hudgens to get the money and get back in the car
Yeah.
so they can drive off together. But then she just fucking leaves both of them.
Yeah, I don't think he planned to double cross the guy. I think he changed his mind at the end.
Yeah.
When he saw him pull a gun on her, and
But I mean, like he did. I guess it was a bit of a because he was played out originally to be this big pimp, but then that second where
the weird fucking hair.
yeah, it was a weird fucking, I fucking loved his costume design. I thought it was great. When he gets like thrown up, he gets his ass handed to him by this random fucking bouncer.
To be fair, I didn't recognize it was 50 Cent at
No.
first, so he was doing a decent job acting. I don't know if he's acted in much else.
I think he's been in
I
a
don't
couple
think he
of
was
action films.
superb.
No,
but, like,
I thought he was great.
I'm pretty sure he's in a few things.
Den of Thieves, I
Find out.
possibly think.
It's kind of a
oh,
thing
that's
for
fine.
like musical personalities who just end up in films.
Yeah, I mean, David Bowie did it. Fucking Harry Styles is doing it. Everyone fucking does it.
Yeah.
The fucking American football player that just retired, I think with Patreon. What's he called?
I have no idea.
The fucking it doesn't matter.
Don't know football.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about. Tom Brady.
yeah,
He
that
wants
guy.
to be he wants to be a stand-up comedian and comedy actor now.
He'll probably do well. Just
All of
because
his teammates have told him not to because it's going to end badly.
No,
No, but
that's nice.
they're probably way worse comedians than him out there who make a fucking killing. And he has the huge fan following who will probably laugh at whatever he says anyway.
50 Cent has 163 role credits.
There you go. He's
But they-
acted a
that-
bit.
they do
I'm
include-
sure I'd heard of
There'll
it.
be music videos.
Other things.
He was in Power, which is a TV show. He's been in 44 episodes of that. I think
I've
that's
seen bits of power,
A
yeah.
lot of it will be music videos.
Den of Thieves. I quite like Den of Thieves. It was a crappy action film with him and Jared Butler, I believe, and a couple other
I
people.
think I saw it was a Netflix thing.
I don't think it was Netflix. I think it might be an Amazon thing, but it did go to cinema for a while. Southpaw boxing thing. Spy. 50 Cent. Las Vegas. He played himself in that Escape
Las
Plan.
Vegas. That was the one with Robert De Niro and Morgan Freeman and
Yes.
all that.
Yeah.
Michael, what's his name? From Ant-Man.
Escape Plan, the movie where
Man, I haven't actually heard of any of these.
Escape Plan where Sylvester Stallone is some guy that escapes
Yeah, I
from prison.
remember the poster for that where they're back to back in cells or whatever.
Yeah.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And then before that, it was the movie we're talking about now. And then I don't think he was in Robot Chicken, but he played himself. Fire with Fire in 2012, Crossfire.
At a certain point, these will all become music videos.
Oh, they have been music videos for a while.
Yeah.
But there was the 50 Cent video game.
What? It's a 50 Cent video
What the
game?
hell?
Please tell me you never. It was on the PlayStation 2 and stuff.
We have a PlayStation 2.
50
We
Cent
can play
Bulletproof.
this.
It was like a third-person
What
shooter.
the hell?
Eminem's in it, like
What?
Dr. Dre. Yeah, it was really bad.
What
Yeah,
year
I'm
did it
sure.
come out?
2005.
Oh,
What the hell?
I think Biggie and all that were already dead, so they won't be in it.
No, he plays some like just for context, it's like a third person, like it looks like that, like
It just looks like GTA, right?
yeah, it's
it's
kind of
just
like a
GTA.
third person. It's not. I don't think it's open world or anything, but you play 50 Cent as he runs around, get guns.
We
people.
gotta play that.
Oh fuck.
After Charlie and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Sort it out then, John. You keep saying Charlie and
I
the
don't know where
Chocolate
it is.
Factory.
It's
Find
in my
it.
house somewhere.
We'll get
You
50
do it.
Cent in
Or-
first
or-
just to kill time. We'll go through every rap artist video
I'll be
game.
in CEX.
Oh yeah, there'll be
50
hundreds of
Cent,
copies of
yeah.
CX.
Yeah, I'll be an antique one day. We'll get into antique video games. That always goes well.
I did think
Myself
we'd get
for
a
a while.
PSP as well. I know we're kind of going off topic slightly.
Doesn't
You can get SNESs from CEX for like reasonably cheap. From the games and like
Super
Sega Mega
Nintendo
Drives,
edition.
which was the first console we had. This is the wrong podcast for video
Yeah, no,
sessions.
we'll,
If you haven't heard, we have another podcast called The Latency
we'll
Lounge.
probably talk about this later as well, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's also not really a video game.
it's a hybrid.
Yeah.
We leave that space to come here.
It's a multitude.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, so yeah, film. Yeah, it was... I don't know if it was good. I can't tell.
Yeah, I really don't know.
I think the main thing that was good about this film was location-based shooting, and the fact that it was done.
Some lovely drone shots.
Yes, there was some nice drone shots. I guess it's pretty easy
Wait,
to
And
do.
always a sign of low budget when you've spent your money on Nick
It was
Cage
drone
and
shot? I
John
thought this was pre-drones.
2013.
Oh, yeah, no, hell yeah, okay, yeah.
Not as
They
It's
did bulky things,
prevalent,
but
yeah.
And for a movie that was shot
cheaper than helicopters.
in 26 days, it's very good. However, as I was telling Nathan earlier, The Whale was shot in 30 days, and The Whale has been Brendan Fraser has won awards at every single award show for amazing acting. The Whale has won a shit ton of awards. This, however, was shot with 4 days less and was nominated for one film, but that was for music.
I saw a film recently called The Headhunter.
Mm.
It was it's basically a film with one person in it, and it's about like a sort of, it's kind of like a Witcher type character, like a monster hunter. His daughter's in it for a bit at the start, but it was all shot within like 2 weeks or something with a crew of five people, plus including the actor. And it was like pretty good for what they had. Like it's done quite well in the cult scene.
I do think short period of time films can work very well if the story, if they know the story, they know the shots, and they're not like having to redo quite a lot.
They do well by not really showing the monsters he's fighting in the Headhunter. Like they just show him after battles and stuff, and like pinning heads to his wall and that. It's a good way to get around it with a
Having
low
to
budget.
pay for like massive designs and stuff.
All you have to pay for is like just a head.
Is there something about films being shot quickly?
Budget
Ease
probably.
of access.
It's just that's been like but that's just been a topic right now. Like this film was shot, The Whale was shot in a
Well, I
month.
think generally like
That was shot in 2 weeks.
it's surprising how often films are shot in a quick time period.
Yeah, but that's mostly because of budget
Well,
constraints.
there's that, and it's like most of films are pre-production and post-production.
Yeah.
The actual filming doesn't take long at all.
I know, so I'm still questioning like
So if you have a film,
what is there.
It's just fun.
Alright, this number's smaller than usual.
Talking about films.
No, I know. I'm just trying to say like
What is the purpose?
you're comparing the level of awards films that were shot in a similar time period we're getting, and I was trying to see, is that relevant
Sure.
as a metric?
I don't know how much. I've not seen The Whale.
Yeah,
I don't know
not
how
yet.
much Brendan Fraser's like resurgence and the emotion behind
that is probably a
has to do
big
with
fucking. The thing is though,
those
which
awards.
I understand with people being like Brendan Fraser back. Brendan Fraser has been around for fucking years.
Yeah.
I mean, we stand Brendan Fraser. Like
I
he went
fucking
through
love
hell
that man.
and like
Yeah.
his comeback and is making a
Everyone
name for
fucking loves
himself
Brendan
again.
Fraser, but I'm just saying like
So long as he doesn't do anything.
he was.
Reprehensible.
Yeah.
And like as much as I grew up with the Mummy films, and I think the Mummy films, even though some of them are shit, they hold a special place.
I
in my
like
heart.
the Mummy
Yeah,
films.
they're
There's a
great.
lot of personality.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
them.
there's a lot of
But
fun.
he's been around for a while. Not doing big things though. I'll agree to that. He done DC Patrol, which is still going. He
Doom
played
Patrol.
Doom Patrol, yeah. That's a DC Patrol. He done No Sudden Move, which was a really good film. I really enjoyed that.
He was supposed to do Batgirl, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
that got cancelled.
He did one. Didn't he do a Scorsese picture or something?
That's still to come out.
Is that still coming?
Yeah,
out?
Tosca's pitch being a wallflower.
Where they discovered David Bowie. He says no one's heard of David Bowie.
But I understand this is his big first major role, I guess. But then back to
They call it serious roles.
Yes,
I hate it.
yes,
Yeah.
I'd say serious because No Sudden Move, although it was a massive film, it had a huge cast. It was just that kind of.
I think it helps as well that A24 have a lot of clout behind them now. It's like they've been releasing fairly solid films on a regular basis. Some have done better than others, but generally they've been subverting the indie market and just been allowing directors and actors to do what they want to do.
A lot of the A24 films, some of them might not be like you would never really go back and watch them again.
They're always generally doing something subversive with the genre, though.
Yeah, they're kind of out of the niche. Like they're allowing directors and like writers to do what they want to write rather than being like you just have to stay in this like formula of big people, okay cast, or big cast, okay writing. Like as long as it looks nice, and it can go on Netflix or something.
Yeah, occasionally. I saw Funny Pages recently, which was an A24 one, and that had like a fairly unknown cast.
I remember seeing the trailer for that a couple of years.
I saw the trailer. It looked like a fun coming of age film.
Yeah.
But then I watched it at the cinema, and it turned out to be real like slimy and grimy, like real unpleasant, and just like the actual reality of trying to live on your own as like I think he was like 17 or 18 or something.
A24 films they do like to push boundaries in a slight sense. They like to bring people in with one thing and then show them a reality of the other. Like with the film Men that we saw.
Men was
I'm just saying that because I've watched it recently again.
Yeah.
I still like the film. I the way they play it out, and the woman keeps saying the same guy over and over again by different people. It's done. It's even it's shot, and A24 do it very well, where they don't really go out of their way to shoot in multiple locations. Most of the films are shot within like certain. Say most. There is some that exceed this and will shoot all
the
over.
Green Knight sort of goes all over the place.
Yeah.
It's mainly like countryside and all that.
Whereas Men sticks around with this centered house and
the
church.
lighthouse as well was just sort of that.
The Whale is also just Brendan Fraser's, not his own apartment, but the character he plays his apartment that they stick in. But with like Men and stuff, they're telling you a story, and the trailer you watch for it shows one side of this woman just like. You think it's just like, oh, so maybe like all he does is she is losing her mind, but it's not until you watch the film and you see like, and you get to the end, you're like, how fucked up is actually this film is.
Yeah, and some great like I don't even want to say what it's like reminiscent of because that kind of spoils it if you haven't seen it. But yeah, try and watch Men. I mean, The Green Knight is great as well. The Lighthouse, Funny Pages is a good watch. Like all these fucking films, good. Generally, X, like I need to rewatch. I couldn't get into it, but
I like the first one. I haven't seen the second one.
I've heard the second one's like somewhat better.
Yeah, because it's the character the old woman that she plays in the first one. It's her prequel, and there's also a third one coming out called Maxine, which is it's a trilogy they're making.
Apparently, they were just like in Australia or something, or wherever they were filming, and they just had 2 weeks spare time.
So they just kept going.
Like, why don't we film another film?
It's done.
I'll do another one.
It's done well.
It's apparently really good.
Because X and what's the second one called? It's a name, I think. But the two first ones have done really well. And I get the first one that really had a big cast. It was a small location, not many actors and actresses, but it was still like it was done very well. It was shot very well. The storyline to it was pretty fucked up. Yeah. But once they got to the second one is literally just, it's kind of the same as the first one, but it allows that actress to, I can't remember her name for the life of me. It allows the woman who is the main star of it to kind of come into her own character, because in the first one she's playing she's all these prosthetics being an old woman basically,
but she's also part of like the porno crew. She's the camera woman or
yes,
the girlfriend of the camera guy.
John, talk to Nathan, let me figure this out.
Hello John, how are you? Did you have a nice urination?
Yes.
Good.
I mean,
It's
it
Maya
probably
Goth.
wasn't my best one, but I think it was
How
certainly...
long did it take you compared to other urinations which have won awards?
Well, since we were on a time thing, I had to really race through it. So there was, I think it was much quicker than usual.
yeah, well, as long as it was satisfying at least.
I mean, I feel like it was less satisfying because I had to rush.
If you'd taken your time, perhaps more satisfying.
Yeah, but I do question, like, I mean, there's only so much you can get.
So it's Maya Goth, right? She's
Yeah.
she plays Maxine Minx, who
Maxine Minx.
is the old woman,
Alliterative name.
and also I think she is one of the porn stars, or she works on the crew.
I think she's
She plays herself. You could say that, like not herself, but she plays her own. She doesn't have a head, but she also plays the old woman in the film.
Yeah.
The two roles. But in the second one, she's just playing the younger version of the old woman.
Yeah.
So she's not having to do two roles. She can just kind of bring this one. So also Maya Goth, let me double check. She is currently dating. Yeah, she's the spousal of Shia LaBeouf. So she's
The spousal.
Sorry, it says Google says spouse.
I like spousal.
She's the partner of Shia LaBeouf, and those two, they're very method actors.
Oh, right, okay.
Like they're very. I think they both are very similar in the way they act. And
There's a lot of shtick that Shia LaBeouf gets, and let's not get into gossip.
Yeah, it's not going to gossip, but the way
We're not going to talk about gossip on the movie podcast.
but the way they
No,
do
if anything, we
films.
should be talking about Nicolas Cage only, and we've already broken.
Yeah,
that.
we've gone on a big tangent from Nick.
Not to continue.
Yeah, but the way that her and Shia LaBeouf they act is very much like they fucking go for it. Because she just done a film as well where she played with some guy, and I've not seen it, but the trailers for it, she's also very much just like a fucking psychopath in it, and she plays those kind of roles very well. Where Shia LaBeouf kind of plays his roles very well, where he kind of goes all out and stuff.
Yeah,
Well, to draw that back to Nicolas Cage, in previous movies, we have said that Nicolas Cage does put a lot into his films. He really... it's hard to say how much effort any particular actor or actress
That was very
puts
true.
into their role.
yeah.
But it always feels like Nicolas Cage, almost to his detriment sometimes, puts a lot.
He was asked to
into
play
his
the
role.
serial killer in this movie, but he chose to play the detective
That's interesting.
because he wanted. He had.
He's already done Con Air.
Yeah.
Oh, another film with John Cusack and...
Yeah, the roles are switched.
yeah,
John Cusack is the police officer, and Nicolas Cage is the criminal, whereas in this one, John Cusack
That's
is the
fun.
criminal.
I like that. I forgot about that.
Nicolas Cage is the
We haven't done Con Air.
We'll get there though.
We'll get
then
there.
we'll talk. Then we'll forget to talk about
this film.
We get to roll the wheel at the end of this episode.
Oh fuck yeah!
Hell yeah. Looking forward to that, and not
yeah.
telling us anyone on the.
I read recently, don't know how factual this is, could be a load of shite. Quentin Tarantino named his favourite 3 actors of the current generation.
I hope Nicolas Cage is on this list.
It was
Why would you bring it up?
it was Tim Roth,
That's very true.
who's acting in a lot of Tarantino stuff.
Yeah.
Sean Penn
Yes.
and Nick Cage, and he says Nick Cage is one of the most a fascinating actor because he has been miscast so often and has risen to the occasion every time.
Well, it's very true. He was.
I love that. I'd say I agree with that. Because even in films that he doesn't fit in,
He's still like he gives it his all. Like
I think Gone in 60 Seconds is like a good example of that. Because he he plays it.
Nicolas Cage could play
Tries to
Princess
play.
Peach in the live action Mario fucking movie if they ever made one, and he would still he would own it. He'd stand there in that dress and be like, Mario, help me.
I don't
That
know how
would be good.
true that quote from Quentin Tarantino is, but I do like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, Nick Cage doesn't really do anything mad in this film. Kind of plays it by the book.
If that quote isn't true, it makes it your quote.
No, it makes it the person who wrote it in the article.
Your quote.
It's mine now.
So you don't know the person who wrote the article.
We can go
Yeah.
off this quote. John, who's your top 3 favourite actors at the moment? Or actresses?
It's Nicolas Cage, Nicolas Cage, and Nicolas Cage, of course. Also, I don't
Who are yours?
Okay. I would at the moment say Nicolas Cage. That's because I watch way too many films.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just like we're
yeah.
watching Nicolas Cage films
Yeah.
pretty regularly.
I would take him off my list because of that. I feel like
Okay, I'll
because we
take
do a podcast about him.
I'll take him off my list. It's not that he's the
right.
best.
So professional
He's not allowed.
conflict of interest.
Yeah.
No, I still enjoy him.
I
a lot
like
of
him,
them,
but
yeah.
I don't think he's one of my favorites.
I don't watch a lot of films. I don't have that many actors or actresses that I can name.
I was trying to think about this recently because I did have an actor who I really liked, and I couldn't remember their name for some reason, so I couldn't have liked them.
I
that
really like
much.
Jamie Lee Curtis recently. I'll put her on my
Yeah, she's great. Scream Queen.
yeah. I did the recent films that fuck, what's his name? Give me a sec.
I would say Jessie Buckley's on mine for recently. I think she's fantastic. I have no idea who else. Do you like Whacking Phoenix?
Vince Vaughn.
Oh, Philip Seymour Hoffman is definitely
Yeah.
up there. Vince Vaughn.
I think as much as
It's a controversial choice.
yeah. As much as I don't really like the Marvel stuff he's done.
He's been in Marvel stuff.
No, not Vince Vaughn. I would say I've kind of come to grown to like Paul Rudd.
Alright.
I've been watching a lot of old Paul
He's a
Rudd
good
films. I
comedic
know
actor,
old.
yeah.
I'm talking about old Paul Rudd films.
Role
like,
models and
Role
I Love
Models.
You, Man.
yeah, and just like 40 when his character 40-year-old virgin.
Yeah.
And this is 40. I've been going through a lot of his old films, and I've just come to love the man. And I do enjoy watching his. And see if it's like nothing else to watch, and you're like, I want something that'll be like it's pretty fun, and I've not seen it in a while. I could watch any film with Paul Rudd. I don't like his Ant-Man stuff though.
No.
I like the first one. I don't know the second one. I'm seeing the third one on Saturday, so I'll let you know how I find that one. But I don't.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I mean, Marvel's kind of whatever.
I'm going to say Jessie Buckley and Philip Seymour Hoffman are on there. I'm going to have to think about my third for next time. So I'll need some time.
Oh yeah, I'll
I'm
probably
gonna
make a.
abstain 'cause I keep learning. I don't watch that many films.
I'll make a better list for next time. But currently, I'm just kind of throwing out actors, people and actresses that I've seen recently in films.
Would we recommend this film?
Yes.
I mean,
Would we? Or is it just because...
again, it is impossible to tell. This is horrible because I don't have my reference is ruined.
If someone comes to me, I want a true story about a serial killer that is somewhat decent to watch and has a pretty gritty storyline to it, I'd mention this.
I say watch Insomnia if you want like an Alaska-based crime thriller.
But this is true.
Alright, look, to a
This
certain
is true. People love a
the
good
more
true because
specific you get, of course the field is
because they
gonna
get to the
narrower.
end and they're like, oh, that's a shame, and then they turn it off and go watch something else. But like they like that bit where they're like,
I don't know. I feel like
No,
when you see the white text come at the end, it's like, oh, everyone loves that.
No, I hated it.
That was horrible.
No, I was saying to Nathan that I
yeah.
thought it, like, there's the question of, are all true crime media exploitative
Yes.
by nature?
Yes.
Yeah, so like, it just kind of hits it home. It's like,
Yeah.
hey look, we made money off of these dead people.
But there's
Yeah.
These dead
podcasts
women.
dedicated to those white bits in films, right? Like
I'm sure there is, but I just didn't. I don't know. I was like, just with based on a true story.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, how much of this is true, or how much of this is a dramatization?
if you want,
and I still don't know.
if
I'm
you
not
ever
gonna
sit
know.
there and go, I want to see John Cusack play a serial killer where he hunts women down like they're like.
I don't even think that he's that like good of a serial killer in the film.
No,
actually,
he's kind of a non-character.
If you
really.
like gritty serial killer stuff, I don't think he's not up there as the best serial killer
No.
portrayals in that. You know.
Well,
there was so often in
again,
this film.
no,
like,
you could end up confusing portrayal to the actual serial killer.
Yeah, no, I'm
in
not
the
saying
true
that.
story.
I'm not saying he's not a good serial killer. I'm saying John Cusack as a serial killer is not one of the most captivating serial killers.
Right.
The bit where he
But
gets like
there's only
unhinged
so
pretty
you
good.
have to perform inside of the expected behavior of the serial killer, and
No, you
If-
can subvert it.
no, not subvert. Well, they can subvert it, but then it's not as true crime.
Well, do we know if true crime is true? Because of all these tropes of.
They say it's based on a true story. How much it is based on said true story for any true crime?
Yeah, it becomes a thing.
Is an open question.
People seem to have more respect for films when it's like based on a true story. Like people are like, "Oh, that was real," but how real was it? Like how much is just glamorized for the screen? Is it just like a kernel? Like it was just this guy said this thing to this woman at this time, and the whole film is built around this thing actually happened, as far as we know, because it could be historical. So how the fuck, like the fucking Troy movie, Helen of Troy, and like the Trojan Wars and that probably wasn't even fucking real. I don't think the Trojan Wars was even real.
Yeah, it was a thing.
But was it? Or was it a story told?
There's a dramatization, but there's the historical events it's based
But how
on.
do we know? Because so much of history is propaganda at these times of these civilizations who are putting.
All right, look, I'm not a fucking archaeologist, right? So I can't really rigorously defend my point. But
They wanted Helen of Troy.
fucking right. Yes, but your point was that you didn't think in this film John Cusack did a good job.
Well, no, I think he was fine, but I wouldn't say like
He excelled,
yeah.
right? But he had to. This is where it's an open question, because of course he had to act within whatever the personality or true crimeness of the actual serial killer, right? If the actual serial killer was just kind of a boring, weird guy,
True.
there's only so much an
Yeah, you
actor
can do.
or actress can do.
But I think there's like, have you seen Natural Born Killers?
No.
It's a film by Robert Rodriguez, I think, with Woody Harrelson and I can't remember the actress's name, but it's a fictional serial killers, and the whole film is a comment on like the glamorization of serial killers and like how people put them up. And there's these great scenes where like it's this really dark plot, but it's set up like a sitcom.
Yeah.
And there's just it's real gory, real violent, but it's like it's a very good film. But I'd say they play really good serial killers because it's like this fantastical, glamorized version of what people expected from serial killers. And how the media portrayed serial killers. Like it's basically who's the serial killer couple?
The one from England.
I can't remember.
The Yorkshire people.
I don't know. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
But, you know, like the for a while the media would glamorize it, and like people would start to get on board with the serial killers and be like they're sticking it to the man. Like, that's a different type of serial killer portrayal, which is itself a comment. I don't know. It's
That's
different
right.
from like a true crime type story.
Because
It's like, as you're saying.
Well,
you can only
okay, you're
portray-
talking about like news media, which is almost as it happens, you could say, in terms of portrayal. And yeah, there can come to be like this embiggening of the personhoods. I'm using a lot of fun words of the killer themselves, because there is so much unknown usually, so the gaps get filled by these media people to make a better news story.
They also name them, which is the worst thing you could possibly do when someone's
you glorify them.
They give them names like fuck it. It's like fucking Jack the Ripper. That's a pretty cool name.
Yeah,
but that man went around butchering women, and then same with like you've got the Zodiac, which is another good name. Yeah, there was
mystery behind it. The
Yeah.
Zodiac could be anyone.
and the,
Ted Cruz.
Could be you.
It's Ted Cruz.
and they try and like put this fear into.
It's probably him.
It's probably me. they put the fear into the whole point is they're trying to put fear in the community and like make it this whole big dramatization, and it's usually just some fucking loner in their house, who has this. It's kind of close. I'm wrong. Some of the times.
I mean, it's a series of mental illnesses, right?
Yeah.
That mix together in the right way, that they have a really weird relationship with. And in this case, in the movie's case,
this
women,
is a mix just right, kid. You're gonna be a star. You're gonna be
it's
a
like
serial killer.
yeah, it's
star.
like oops, all psychopath. It's fucking, yeah, but it comes from the same place with the news media, the true crime stuff. It is profiteering, or I mean, not even profiteering. It's just the nature of capitalism, where they have to.
True. Yeah.
They have
you
to
could-
create
you-
something that is interesting that is consumable
by nature
because they have to consume
of film as an art medium, as Hollywood is like just like capitalism, like you got to make money from films. You could make a film without profiteering from it, but you can because of the way that the structure is constructed.
Because most people don't want to make films that don't make them money, unfortunately.
Well, I think a lot of people probably do, but it's just like they
need money from people who want the film to make money to make the film, so it doesn't work.
Those people that want it to make money usually have a say in what
There's enough financial interests in any big production film that is impossible for you to consider like, hey, what if we don't profiteer? Anyway, that's almost irrelevant in terms of
Nick Cage's performance.
Regardless of the profit motive as well, it is still made for the intent of having as many people watch it as possible.
Yeah, I mean, is it? We don't know. Probably with this type
it's
of
very
film,
rare to see a film that is made that doesn't have an audience in mind, I guess. I mean,
you always have to consider your audience when you're making something.
Yeah.
Who is going to watch this? And because you have financial incentive, you're right. Yeah, you're gonna want as many people to watch as possible.
It comes back to that. Like, I'm trying to think: is there a case where true crime isn't exploitative to the victims, to the families of the victims, to the survivors?
Yeah.
Not really, because you're always going to dramatize it in a certain way to capture people's attention.
Yeah. True crime being
Depends
it is pseudo-fictional, pseudo-non-fiction. Even documentaries of these kind of events can be exploitative.
Is the person making it putting themselves at the center, or their want for money or fame at the center? Like, if you made a film and then just used a pseudonym and didn't promote it at all, like, and had no intent of making money from it, and gave all your money to charity, does that make it better?
No, unless you give the money to possibly the victims, but then the families, but then that doesn't seem right.
That's also
they're
that also is wrong.
off the death of their children,
and also
their relatives.
Regardless of if money is made or fame is gained, right? You are still quite possibly asking people to revisit trauma, and you could be doing harm by doing that. And so even if nothing happens as a result of even if the film is released in a vacuum, the process of making the film can do harm.
There was a film, I believe, called The Apple. I think I'm getting that title right. And it was about these girls. I can't remember which country it was in. I believe it was a Middle Eastern area country. It could have been closer to Africa. It could have been closer to Asia. But these girls were kept in their house by their parents, locked in for years of their lives, and weren't allowed out. And then they were let out one day and sort of experienced the world. But then a filmmaker came along and took the two girls and put them in the same situation to make a film about it. And so recreated.
There's a reason you use actors or actresses.
Yeah, that's my issue with the film. I haven't seen the film.
Yeah.
I've heard about the film. I've just heard about the general. That's I don't know how much consent the girls had. I'm pretty sure the girls were still like in their teenage years, so not fully consenting.
I think I can understand the point of him trying to him or her, the director trying to make the film as real as possible. Yeah.
That's some very twisted artist bullshit, though.
Yes,
yeah, you're still forcing people to revisit trauma, even if because apparently.
No, you're not just making them revisit trauma. You were immersing them back in the traumatic environment. It's worse.
There was no like physical sexual abuse towards these girls while they were locked in the house, but they were still locked in a house, away from the outside world.
Four walls for a while.
Yeah, they could see out the windows.
I mean, there's kind of the assumption that like maybe it wasn't a traumatic experience for them. I think it was probably.
Probably, yeah. Because the moment you step into the outside world, every single thing is alien to you. And I get you want to recreate
you're going to develop very
vision,
differently from a person in equivalent circumstances who isn't locked in a room for all of their childhood.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
But there's
That's
this
not
whole
even
thing
true
in the
crime,
artistic
or even like
community.
exploitative media.
There's
It's just
There's a whole thing in
bad.
the artistic community, like you're saying, where it's like, I'm doing it for the art, I'm doing it for the shot, I'm doing it. There's like, apparently there's a thing, what's his name? Werner Herzog, who was in The Mandalorian at the start. He's like, I want you to get me the child or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's a German director. He was big in the revivalist after World War II, the revival of German cinema. But he says, take a fake ID and a bolt cutter wherever you want to film. So, and then ask permission later, or ask forgiveness. However, Werner Herzog made a film called Aguirre, Wrath of God, and the filming of that film is so fucked. Like, there was a girl who was in her teenage years who was passed around by the crew in the middle of a rainforest. They released a whole species of monkeys into just like a rainforest and just let them roam free. So much animal abuse. So much, like, an actor went mad and started shooting at the crew. And they were all on these rafts, filming on these rafts in the middle. It's a great film. The filming situation is fucked.
Yeah, no.
I don't think it's worth having this film if these people were put through this experience. I don't know, it's like Cannibal Holocaust.
It's not going to add anything, as much as they think, oh, this is going to be the greatest film that anyone's ever seen.
It's not worth it.
Once it's done and out there, people will go, oh yeah, it's pretty good. It's gone. It's a distant memory. It carries no, like, additional
I don't think
benefits
it's
to
worth having a media property, a piece of art in the world, just to put people through like fucking hell. Like, fuck your ego.
Yeah.
Just because you think you're making art doesn't give you license.
Yeah,
to...
it's kind of just masochism at this point, because you're putting yourself through the situation most likely as well. But it's also like, yeah, okay, maybe you think it's okay. You consent yourself to whatever horrible treatment you're putting the crew through, but the crew probably don't at all. I think another example of this is The Shining. A pretty popular
the
example of
actress from The Shining.
Yeah, where they would
fed speed and like
basically abuse the
for the
excellent film. Fucked.
always fucked.
Yeah.
And was that Christopher Nolan?
That was Stanley Kubrick.
Kubrick, yeah. Fucking hell. He still makes films, doesn't he?
He's dead.
make films in.
But Lars von
Maybe he still
Trier,
does make
Lars von Trier is a more contemporary like reference for that kind of thing, because he makes excellent films, but is a dirtbag. and we watched The House that Jack built.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of thing, and that film almost seemed like him poking fun at like all the shit he's done, and and being like reactionary and getting reactions from people and like being controversial. But it's an excellent film.
Yeah.
Like it is an excellent film, but it's still just like problems with the production of it. And there doesn't fucking need to be these problems with the production.
Yeah. There's like two things. Is like one is like the idea of suffering for art is something that kind of belongs in history. Like it shouldn't have happened in history, but it already happened, and it shouldn't happen fucking again or keep happening. Of course.
People only suffered in history because there weren't the fucking structures around.
Well, no,
them to
because they
help
were
them.
maybe
Vincent van Gogh cut off his ear because there wasn't mental health counselling back in like the 1800s, 1700s, whenever the fuck Van Gogh was around. But yeah. How do we get here from the frozen
Nicolas.
ground?
Because true crime is an inherently exploitative form of genre. So it's just kind of like either like you could say ethical true crime is where you don't make any of the people revisit their trauma.
There's something I want to
There isn't actually. I don't think there isn't existing. But I'm just saying the closer you get to some kind of ideal of ethical, the less true crime it is.
There's something I want to do that I won't say on the podcast because I think it's so good someone will steal it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But I think we'll end it there. It's an hour.
Yeah, this was a fun
It's one of the
episode.
longest ones we've done in a while.
I'm so glad we actually had a movie to fucking talk about that wasn't bad.
Yeah, no,
Or at least had things to talk
there
about.
was subject matter to this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is episode 19 of Nicolas Cage International Treasure. Probably more. We've done a couple specials. I've got to find the films as we're... Yeah, there we go. So join us next week for the final episode of season 2.
Let's see if we're gonna have a fucking banger. What have we got?
It's Drive Angry.
Probably not then.
I've no idea.
Drive.
Hopefully it's not
I
another.
don't think I've seen it there.
We thought this one was one of these prime ones, but it was a bit before the whole geezer teaser.
2011. Him, Amber Heard, William
Oh.
Fisher,
Oh
Billy
gosh.
Burke.
Okay. Can't wait to revisit
John
that.
Milton, who is Nicolas Cage, escapes from hell to find his daughter's killers and then rescues his granddaughter from the clutches of a satanic cult.
That
wants
sounds
to
excellent.
Sacrifice her to the devil in the
That's
full moon night.
That sounds excellent. Right, well, join us next week for that. I've been Nathan. That's Kieran.
Hello.
That's John.
Hello.
It's been Nicolas Cage International Treasure.
Goodbye.
Good night.
They got me slapping, got me whacking, got me smacking my lips. Oh, Nicolas Cage, oh, Nicolas Cage, he's an international treasure of ours, yeah. Oh, Nicolas Cage.
At least 4